All right, let me start with you and Rodney said last night the Texans should sign Colin Kaepernick. Some of the things that you said. Sign Colin Kaepernick. You don't have good quarterback play. When you have a mobile quarterback, your offense looks different. There is a mobile quarterback out there. Go get him in Colin Kaepernick. All right. I think it's crazy to bring in Colin Kaepernick now because I don't think he's ready to play football. If Garoppolo wasn't ready to play for the Niners, and he's been playing, Colin Kaepernick can't play right now.
He won't help them this week if they sign him, but he could help them down the road. We thought Deshaun Watson wasn't ready to play. We got that.
Well, we knew he was. we knew he was. We kept saying, how is Tom Savage beating out Deshaun Watson? But he was ready to play football. Kaepernick is not ready to play in an NFL game anytime soon. The concern I have is if he does come back, he's not ready to play, doesn't play well, then people are going to say, why the big deal about Colin Kaepernick? So if he does come back and he gets a chance to play, I hope they give him ample time to get ready to make that appearance.
He will need that, but don't just look at it for these 4 weeks either. Deshaun Watson is your future. This is what your offense is going to look like. To have somebody who can do some of the same things down the road next year, if this happens, you're in better shape. So I'm just saying what they're doing now, we all heard this, well, Colin Kaepernick can only play in certain type of attacks. They have that type of attack now. That's what they do. It makes sense to me.
Yeah, I also look at Houston and that ownership, if they would welcome in Colin Kaepernick as well. And plus, the president is going to go after any owner team who signs Colin Kaepernick. You're getting that. So you have to be ready for quite a few things. Is Kaepernick good enough for all of this is really the key.
That's the question you have to ask. I happen to think he would help them, and I think he'd help them in the long run, and that's what I would look at. If I was coaching, I'd say, can this guy help my team in the long run?
We talked about Tampa. You know how I feel about Tampa, that their success hinges on the maturity of Jameis Winston. I really believe that because I do think they can get it right in other facets here. Why does Jameis Winston take 2 steps forward and 2 steps back, Tony?
He's a young man, and he's got to grow through that. I'm worried about that. Off the field, I was always worried about that. He's done well that way in Tampa, has not had any issues off the field in the community. Taking care of the football, that's your number one job. He hasn't done a great job of that. He's still plays like he's got to make every play and every throw and win the games himself. He's got to learn that. Situation like yesterday can happen if you're the leader.
How do you not throw out Mike Evans? What? I know you can't review that, but if you're an official.
Officials are very hesitant to throw people out of games. You just see it over and over and over again. We saw A.J. Green and Ramsey get tossed.
But that's right in front of an official.
It was.
He was almost involved in the scrum.
I don't know how, Mike Evans comes from 50 yards away and clips a guy from behind. I'm not sure how he's not thrown out either. That's one that you just shake your head at. You don't know. Okay,
how would you feel as the coach if you're Dirk Cutter that Mike Evans is sticking up for your quarterback, not knowing exactly what happened and that Winston instigated it?
You're fine with that part of it. You got to stick up for your teammates, especially your quarterback. Mike Evans is running a route. He doesn't see what happens, and all of a sudden his quarterback is getting pushed on the sideline. So that immediate response, you're okay with that. But you're talking to the whole team. We cannot lose our composure like this. We have to be more professional. We've got to win games and not blow them and not give ourselves this just idea that we're out of control. And so I think you talk to the whole team and say, you know what, we've got to play better. We've got to be better.
Denver gives up 51, and the Giants give up 51. Denver is more surprising to give up 51, even though it's to good Eagles team. The Giants gave up 51 at home to the Rams.
Coming off a bye, you just did not expect that. I thought this was going to be kind of the last stand. We're going to come back. We're going to play well. Started with the suspension of Jenkins. Then you see block punts and just no hustle on the defense. It was very, very surprising to me. I did not expect to see that from the Giants.
But when do you know your team has given up?
You kind of see a pattern of it. And it was ugly yesterday. I don't know that those guys have given up. But
They
look,
didn't want to tackle. Some guys didn't want to
didn't
tackle.
And see, the problem, Rodney Harrison said, and you remember it at the beginning of the year, this defense can be great. This can be better than the Super Bowl defense. They can carry them. And that's what you're expecting. So when you see that, and when you see guys run through the team on 3rd and 37, when you see just gigantic holes and nobody hustling and long passes, this is supposed to be the strength of our team. What happened? And I can't explain it.
The Rams blueprint, great defense. You finally get a head coach who understands offense and quarterbacks, which is something Jeff Fisher did not. But is it something that simple? I know you shored up the offensive line, but why has it clicked for the Rams this year so quickly?
It really has. Good quarterback play. This front seven has been dominant for a couple. They've had team speed. They've given Seattle problems for years with their defensive line. They've got speed in the secondary. Todd Gurley is a very, very good back. They've got some receivers who can make some plays. But what you had when you didn't get top quarterback play, you had everybody loading up on Gurley, stopping him, daring the quarterback to throw. And it wasn't happening. So you're getting these 14, 13 games. The defense felt like they couldn't make a mistake. And you didn't have to take chances against that defense because if somehow you scored 12 points, 13 points, you're going to win. Well, now all of a sudden you load up the box and Jared Goff makes some plays and makes some throws. Now you say, I can't do that. I got to play normal defense. Now Todd Gurley looks like we expected Todd Gurley to look. Now you're scoring points. The defense is ahead. They're teeing off. And the cumulative effect is great, but it was really just getting that. And Sean McVay has done a great job with Jared Goff getting him to perform.
We'll come back with Tony Dungy. I got a couple of pointed questions. What do you do if you're the Colts with Andrew Luck? And I want to ask you what you do if you're Ben McAdoo with Eli Manning. Is it time to start looking at the future? We'll continue with Tony Dungy. We'll also talk about the Cowboys situation with Ezekiel Elliott and how good this team is. And are they a Super Bowl contending team? We'll talk about that. And your phone calls coming up, best and worst of the weekend as well. 1:30, Dan Patrick Show. Tony Dungy joining us on behalf of Continental Tire Coach's Corner. From sun to rain to snow and everything in between, Continental Tire's engineered tire for what you do. Extraordinary performance, reliability, putting confidence into driving. For more information and a location of a dealer near you, visit ContinentalTire.com. Continental Tire for what you do. If you're Ben McAdoo, and perhaps in the final months of your job with the Giants, do you bench Eli Manning?
I don't, because I'm trying to win as many games as I can to keep my job. If I'm Ben McAdoo, I think this is an organizational decision that they have to make. Are we in a mini one-year rebuilding program? Do we think we can put the pieces back together next year? Or is this start from scratch? We've got 2 or 3 years until we're going to contend again. And if you think that's the case as the GM and as the owner, then now you can look down the road. But I think if I'm Ben McAdoo, I'm trying to win as many games as I can. I think Eli gives them the best chance to win right now.
But you got to get their attention. Something gets their attention if you bench the starting quarterback or you bench Eli up.
You know what, Dan, when I coach, you know how I got people's attention? Gentlemen, I want your attention. I don't have to do things to, no. Then
if you had the right people, though, that listened to you. I don't think these guys are listening to, I think they've tuned him out.
Then you got to get different people. But, if you have to get people's attention by doing like the Adam Gase thing, and I'm a Miami fan, but if you have to trade somebody to get people's attention, you don't have the right people there.
Andrew Luck's future, is it in Indianapolis?
I think it is, but I'm concerned about his physical health. And, where is he? Because he's going to throw. No, he's not going to throw. He's not throwing 100%. We thought he was going to be ready. He's not ready. Where is he physically? The reason why I say it's going to be in Indianapolis, think back 5 years and Peyton Manning, and supposedly he's done and he's got this neck surgery and he'll never throw again, and he goes and wins a Super Bowl for another team. I don't see Jim Irsay wanting to have that happen. Hey, where's Andrew Luck? He's not playing. And he wins for somebody else. I think he'll be in Indianapolis.
But how do they make this mistake, Tony? Where the owner says he's going to be ready week 1, and now they shut him down for the rest of the year.
Everybody thought he was going to be ready. And I don't know. That's what baffles me. They went in with really no plan that Andrew wasn't going to be there, and then they had to rush out and get Jacoby Brissett right before the opening of the regular season. Tells me they were expecting him to play. Why it didn't happen, why Luck can't play at all this year, that's baffling.
If I look at the first place teams here and I say, let's go to the final week of the season, who is still in first place of these teams? Patriots?
Yes.
Steelers?
Yes.
Titans?
Jacksonville's got a great defense.
All right. Chiefs?
Yes.
Eagles?
Yes.
Vikings?
Yes.
Saints?
That's no, Carolina then the Saints. Carolina could catch the Saints. Saints are playing well. I love what their defense is doing. Can they keep going with that defense the rest of the year? I'm not sure.
Jags or the Titans?
Rodney and I were talking about this on the show last night. I love the Jags defense, what they're doing, shutting people down. Calais Campbell's been great. Titans, though, have won 3 in a row, and Marcus Mariota is playing at about 70% capacity. I'm going to go see him on Wednesday and interview him for our following Thursday night game. We've got the Titans in Pittsburgh. I want to find out, where are you, Mark? When are you going to start to be Marcus Mariota again? Is this going to be all year?
Is he healthy, though?
He's not healthy.
Yeah.
He's sitting in the pocket, not taking off. They're not running the read options with him. That really limits their offense. If they get that part back, if he tells me, hey, my hamstring's coming and I'm going to be Marcus Mariota in 2 more weeks, I think they can win it. If he has to throw from the pocket and just be a limited quarterback all year, then I like Jacksonville.
The Rams?
Rams are legit, and I'm not liking what I see in Seattle. Now, Seattle's got the experience, and those guys can bounce back, but I think the Rams are a more complete team right now.
But, Tony, you're a defensive-minded coach. You played defensive back. Explain to me, 2 minutes to go, and the Redskins have to score a touchdown, and you're playing bump and run?
I can't explain that, Dan. I was watching it, and I didn't believe it. I had just seen, I tweeted out, Dwight Freeney with a spin move sack. That was 15 years ago. I saw that, and he's rushing. They're rushing the passer like crazy. Kirk Cousins doesn't have time to get anything off. They've got to go 70 yards. You just sit there, hey, we'll sit back, play zone, make 8 or 9 throws. We're going to get a couple sacks in here, and the game's going to be over. Bump and run in the slot, 30-yard play. Bump and run on Doxson, another 30-yard play. You're at the 1-yard line in 2 plays.
Crazy.
I could not believe it.
The Cowboys, it felt like, were Ezekiel Elliott's team last year. Are they Dak Prescott's team this year?
They're definitely Dak Prescott's team. I was down there week 1 to interview Dak. He told me the difference. Last year, he got no reps with the first team until Tony Romo got hurt in training camp. So all the offseason program, training camp, he's kind of working with the second unit. He gets thrust in there. We're going to build this around the running game and play defense. And he did a tremendous job last year under the circumstances. But this year, from day one, off-season program, workouts, mini camps, he's the guy. He feels confident. They feel confident in him. Yeah, they need Ezekiel Elliott. When he's running the ball, it makes everything easier. But if Zeke goes on this suspension, they will still win games. Dak will just do a little bit more. And Sean Lee makes such a difference with that team. When he's in there, the defense is totally different.
It's amazing. Yeah, it really is with Sean Lee. Yeah. Tony Dungy joining us, Continental Tire Coach's Corner. You don't have to name names, but did you ever have somebody come in to interview, draft pick-wise, where you just went, no way?
We had a few of those. Yeah.
Like, what's a red flag for you back when you were coaching?
Red flag to me, you know who I used to talk to, Dan? The equipment managers.
At the schools?
At the schools.
Yeah.
Tell me about this guy. Is he a pain in the butt? Is he a guy that we want on our team? And those guys will tell you how you treat the equipment managers, the trainers, the academic advisors. They could give you a good clue. But, you know, the coach is going to tell you, oh, he's a great guy. Yeah, you want him. He'll do anything for you. Or we'll get scouts.
Well, it's good for their program if you're taking somebody hot.
Drafted.
Yeah.
And then we get scouts. Well, their coaches couldn't get out. He's really a great guy and talented. You can get it out of him. I never wanted those guys.
But we have these mock drafts, and I always tell people these aren't the professionals who are going to get their hands on these kids and really dissect them. Because how many times do we say Matt Barkley's going to be the number 1 quarterback? Christian Hackenberg's going to be the number 1 quarterback. And then all of a sudden you go, wait, what? Then we view these kids as disappointments. It's not until you get to the combine where you go, okay, now I get a chance to talk to them, do my research. Did you ever have anybody? Are you going to have guys scouting the college ranks? At what point do you have your scouts looking at guys that you can draft this next season?
Oh, they're looking at them as freshmen and sophomore. They're keeping track all the way through. And you get there and you want to know, everybody looks at talent. This guy's talented. This guy's great. This guy runs 4.3. But what are they going to do? What kind of teammates are they going to be? How are they going to fit into what you do? I wasn't there in Indy, but there was a debate, Peyton Manning and Ryan Leaf, a big debate. And there were a lot of people who said Ryan had more upside. You know, Peyton's been well-trained.
There's a lot of people who revisionist history. They've changed their opinion on that.
No, we always had
Everybody knew Peyton was going to be better.
It was close. It was close. It was tight. But when you talked to them, when you sat down, and that drive that Peyton had, you know, it was special and unique. And once you interviewed the guys, then it was an easy decision. Ricky Williams and Edgerrin James. Bill Polian got killed for taking Edgerrin James over Ricky Williams. But when you talk,
who did you miss out on? Who's the guy where you went, I just didn't? Now, and I know I'm not being fair to you because obviously there's other people who missed out on players. But was there one that you just look back and you go, how did I miss that?
You know, it's hard off the top of my head right now. Randy Moss was one, you know, where you said, boy, left Notre Dame under a cloud, goes to Marshall, you hear all these things. Should we take Randy Moss? And Denny Green, you know, said, hey, this is a guy, I believe in Randy, and if you believe in him, he's going to do it for you. Dante Culpepper.
Were you in Minnesota at the time?
I was not.
Oh, okay. No. But Denny decided to go all in.
Go all in. We had it just the opposite way, and it turned out great for me. Warren Sapp, the year Warren's coming out, and we're picking a number 11, I think, at Minnesota. Denny says, hey, we've done all our research. We hear these rumors about Warren, but if he's there, we're going to take him. The morning of the draft, the next day, we get this communication from the league office. Denny comes in, we're not taking him. I never got an explanation why, but we went from we can take him to not take him overnight. I'm defensive coordinator. I'm heartbroken. I said, this guy could be special. We already had John Randall. I'm thinking Chris Dolman, we can have one of the best defenses of all time. Denny says we can't take him. I got to move on. He goes to Tampa, the pick after us, and now I'm thinking, gosh, not only do we not have him, I'm going to be playing against him twice a year. And the next year, I'm the head coach in Tampa. So the Lord was looking out for me.
Who did you take? Derek Alexander?
We took Derek Alexander. Yeah. Yep. And it was no question in ability. You know.
Peyton Manning is doing what in 5 years?
I tend to think he's in the front office somewhere.
Cleveland Browns?
I don't know that. Somewhere.
Cleveland Browns, Tony?
I've talked to Peyton about what he wants to do, and he's balancing TV and going into what we do versus front office. He loves football. He loves that day-to-day interaction. But I think in his heart he knows if he goes to a team, it's going to be 20 hours a day.
Would you follow him?
Would I follow him? Yeah. Yes, I would. I think he'll be great at putting – he spent so much time around Bill Polian. He understands the game.
Now, by follow, I mean, would you work with
Personally work with him? I'll be 70 years old or 67
so
in 5 years.
Dick LeBeau is like 90.
You know what?
If Peyton called and said,
if he called me and said, hey, I'd want you to be in my organization, I would have to think about it. I have that much
even
respect
if it's the
for him.
Cleveland Browns.
I can't get my wife to move to Cleveland. No, they'd have to move the team. If Cleveland could move to Clearwater, Florida, then we could do it.
Then we'll work on that. Tony, always great to see you. We appreciate it. And I know you're joining us on behalf of Andy Roddick's Foundation, and you brought in some listeners. So
yeah, thanks for hosting these guys. We've had a great time at our show last night and here today. Thank you.
Continental Tire Coach's Corner. He's Tony Dungy, and he'll be working Thursday night, the Seahawks against the Arizona Cardinals.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.